About a dozen emergency management personnel from New York are headed to Puerto Rico to survey the damage left by Hurricane Fiona.
We need to get on the ground like his team did automatically and right away to identify exactly what we're doing, what we're dealing with, where should resources go, and what type of resources should go. So this is the first step, is get down and do an assessment.
A small task force was sent to Puerto Rico earlier this week to assist in rescue and recovery operations, but a lot of people are taking matters into their own hands and helping out one another. This morning we are joined by Juan Carlos Pedreira, who lives just south of San Juan in a city called Guaynabo, to update us on the conditions this morning. So good morning to you, Juan Carlos. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule right now and all the relief that you're helping out with to join us. What are the conditions where you are right now? And does everyone have enough water?
Yeah, that's basically the conditions. Just to give you an idea, we have 36% of the whole island are without power. 66% are without electricity. We're talking here that generation in terms of megawatts, only 22% are being produced. People have been kind of patient over the last 72 hours, but now you're hearing people on the radio asking, questioning the government why it's taking so long, especially for the northern part of Puerto Rico and the metro area, which haven't received any type of heavy damage from the storm. And we're basically without power. You can just hear in the background the generator here in my house south of San Juan.
Yeah, well, the governor there said that he expected the water and electricity to be restored to most of the island but last night. You're saying that it hasn't happened. What's been the excuse?
Well, the main feud, and right now with the situation, it's the transmission lines are being handled by the private company Luma, and the generation, it's being handled by PREPA, the government agency. Right now, the main reason Luma hasn't turned on the lights to many parts of Puerto Rico, it's because they require some type of inspection. Apparently, the inspections have taken place or are still taking place right now, but that's kind of the questioning why people in San Juan, in which basically nothing happened, are still without power. So I think in the next 24 to 48 hours, things could get a little bit complicated for the government and for the private entity who is handling the electricity here in the island.
Yeah, and we're actually looking at some of these aerial images because parts of the island, as you know, suffered catastrophic flooding and even mudslides. And the aerial images are incredible to look at from the Coast Guard. So you're talking about some areas that they were able to even do those inspections, right? Has anyone able to access remote areas?
Well, I believe most of the, there have been more than 1,000 rescues being handled by the Puerto Rico Coast Guard, National Guard, I'm sorry. And also a lot of areas that have the heaviest damage are concentrated on the southeast and south of the island. Right now, there's crews handling water bottles, basically trying to clean up a lot of those areas. But one of the biggest challenges for cleanup, it's water availability. So everything is kind of in a standstill. And we just have to remember, Puerto Rico, the last 5 years have handled a bunch of different emergencies. And for a lot of people, it's deja vu all over again with regards to Hurricane Maria. So a lot of people are really concerned. Just where I am, during Hurricane Maria, I was more than 60 days without power. And a lot of people are getting concerned that the situation is more complicated than the government is actually saying to us.
Yeah, the area certainly can't catch a break. Just curious, there are people here, obviously, in New York and all across the United States trying to get to Puerto Rico to try to help. What's the airport situation? What is the accessibility from people outside Puerto Rico who are trying to come in to help?
Yeah, all airports are open, with the exception of the southern airport in Ponce. But all the flights are being handled normally. Most of the emergency generators are up and running, handling hospitals and the airport. So if someone wants to really come down to Puerto Rico, there's no problem. Actually, in life, it's kind of normal here in San Juan. My kids are in school right now.
That's crazy.
Some school, so it's kind of weird because we're normal, but we're not normal. If we don't have power and we don't have water, things are really complicated.
And so, you know, we've heard from a few of your colleagues and other residents on the island who have talked about how this is such a different storm than Maria, right? And so compared to water and power outages and where the damage is. So what would you say is the most pressing item that you might need on the island that folks might want to send over there?
I mean, FEMA has publicly mentioned that they have twice the resources that they had back during Hurricane Maria. Right now, there's a lot of movement to bring pallets of water to the hardest hit areas in the south and southeast of Puerto Rico. But I'll say right now, the main things are clothing and water and some canned foods. But I think that situation it's pretty much handled by the local government and by the federal government.
Well, I hope things will improve more quickly than people are expecting. Juan Carlos Pedreira, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We always appreciate any kind of information that you can send us, and we hope that we can help the best we can. Thank you.
Thank you very much.